for stun.
Three guys sitting in a dark room that smells like bad cucumbers.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Inconceivable!
Now featuring 11 listeners.
This is the Unique Geek.
You slimy scumbag, get on your face and give me 25.
This is the Unique Geek.
And welcome to another edition of 50 Days of Dragon Gold. And joining me is the ever musical Lee.
No, not ever musical, John. And swish and flick that I don't know what you were trying to do there. What were you trying to do?
I don't know what I was trying to do. Lee, you've been doing this now. We've been doing this now forever.
Ever. Yes. Forever.
And,
many years.
If anything is proven out to be true, it's that I have no idea what I am doing.
Well, that's true.
Until
but
it's
I
done.
always
Much like
think,
Dragon Con, I don't
Much
know what's
like
happened
DragonCon.
until it's actually happened.
Yeah, right. And, nothing's official until Tuesday after con. I think Phil was the best at saying that. So I did look at Dragon Con today, and I did look
That's
at
good. At least one of us prepped.
the Dragon Con site. I have my little computer. This could get me to the moon if I knew anything about computers. And so I looked at who's coming.
Spaceship design.
Yeah. Or
I mean,
spaceship design.
I'm not sure the phone is actually going to. Anyway, go ahead.
Or engineering.
Rocket science? Yeah,
Or
whatever.
no, well, I married a rocket scientist, even though now he's a chef. He was a rocket scientist.
As most chefs are.
Yeah, right, exactly. But we have a few new people, and we got some artists for Joe Rubenstein, and we got Drew Macy, who I am going to have to go see this on Nickelodeon. It's called the Barbarian and the Troll. And so I can't, and he's a
never heard of it.
puppeteer. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it's puppets. So I always like puppets. And, we got this is the one I saw. Jeffrey B. Wilkerson is a live performer with the most amazing punk rock puppet show. Welcome to Anhedonia. I hope I pronounced that right. And I'm sorry, punk rock puppet show. If that is not a must-see at some point, I don't know who you are. But yeah, so it's looking really good. And want to talk about big brothers and big sisters. Again, remember, charity. Woo!
Yes.
So do what you can, if you can, while you're at con. And hopefully we'll have some more information when we get charity on here very soon about how they're hopefully either going to have QR codes or something on the Big Brothers Big Sister site that will let you give, and they know you're with Dragon Con. And again, Defenders of Potential, it's amazing numbers. 98% finish high school. No, 100% finish high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 98% go to college or a trade school kind of thing, or community college or whatever. Yeah, the numbers they were giving was great. I hope I didn't screw that up, but the numbers they were giving was kind of amazing. And so, yeah. But John, do you see what I got my hair in today? I got it in a little bun. It's
Oh,
a
no.
little bitty
Damn.
bun. Yep, I have a little bitty bun. You know why I have a little bitty bun? Because
I don't want none unless you got a little bun, hun.
I don't know what that is, and is that a song?
It's never mind.
Okay, so I have it in a bun because I was thinking about Harry Potter today, and that's why I got out my very cool from the Hogwarts and Universal Studios place, my Hermione wand. It's so pretty, so swish and flick and swish and flick. But you know what, John?
What?
I wonder if
What,
I can
Lee?
swish and flick somebody to be at our door. You think?
Okay, let's see.
I'm going to think really, really hard.
Let's see.
Swish and flick and swish and flick. Yay! It
Someone's
worked!
here.
Yay!
Hey, it's Mel.
It's Mel.
Yeah.
Yay! It's Mel, one of our favorite directors with
Hey, sure, why not?
Young
mean,
Adult
you
Lit.
know.
Whatever.
I
Hurry
read
up and do
everything
that.
Mel reads. Writes.
Yeah.
You know, actually, quite a few people that are volunteers with our track are writers. I myself am not. I am just a consumer of good literature.
Oh, there you go.
you go. There you go. And just before we get started here, John, are you going to pull up your screen? Because one of the biggest things
Oh,
I did, Andrew. One of the biggest things. Sorry, phone call coming in, and I have to answer that one. So, what I did during 2019 and 2020, because 2019 was a problem when I was having some very big health issues. I liked watching movies where the bad guys lost, or reading things where the bad guys lost. And we've talked about this. And one of them was The Hunger Games, which is always so fun to watch right there, because then I'm like, that's Marriott 10th floor, that's the Hyatt, and it's really, that's the Swan House. I mean, it's just really fun to do that. And so I just wanted to let Mel know that. Mel, you're in Atlanta too, right?
I am.
Are
And
you?
speaking of the Hunger Games, did you
Yeah.
read the prequel?
I have not yet. I have
well,
not.
If you
I need
do
to.
before con, we're going to talk about it on Monday.
Ooh, I might do that. And my son, I am also I'm reading snippets of the Harry Potter because my son, sometime in 2020, decided that no, I got it for my husband in 2020, which was all 7 of the Harry Potter books on Kindle, and because they had a sale. And so that was reading. Yay. So I've been doing that too. So yeah, but there are more. People always think of the Hunger Games, Divergent, Harry Potter, The Giver, maybe. They think of maybe those universes, but Young Adult Lit has a lot more than that. So what does Young Adult Lit do and have as properties?
Yeah, so probably the biggest one that we have right now that
Mhm.
most people are talking about are the Grishaverse books by Lee Bardugo, Six of Crows, or you might be more familiar with Shadow and Bone, which there was recently
yeah.
a Netflix series based off of.
Mhm.
So we cover the book series for that. High Fantasy is actually covering the show. But those books are huge. Other books that are really popular that you might have heard of as well are the Shadowhunter books. There was both a movie
Yes.
and a TV show for City of Bones, and we talk a lot about Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter books as well.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. And so that's really awesome too. And I love that. And so are there new properties this year that you're really looking forward to, or anything that there's something new you're going to be talking about that this year you've heard a lot of people saying, oh, that is going to be so cool?
So this year we actually have a pretty interesting, I think we have a very interesting schedule. We are taking our schedule this year and sort of mishmashing things about writing YA, and then sort of concepts in YA. So we're doing a panel on we're calling it Reimagined, and it's this idea of doing retellings. So retellings of Camelot's series or Greek myths. We talk a lot about fairy tales, things like that. How those stories get sort of cycled, right? And also tropes, right? What are your favorite tropes? And how do you use those, right? Because tropes are one of those things that are really interesting in that you can sort of like see where it's going to go, but yet we still consume it, right? Because we love those types of stories.
And you're never ever sure if they're going one way with the trope or another way with the trope, because they might just throw that trope on top of their head. You never know.
Yeah. That happens all the time.
Which is fun too.
Yeah. We also are doing something that's, I think, kind of interesting, new for us. So we have never done Thursday night programming before, but we are this year. And we have such a love in the YA track for costuming and cosplay. In fact, at every Yule Ball, we do sort of a costume parade across the stage so that anyone can get to show off their cosplay. So this year at Thursday,
Ooh.
7 p.m. in our
And this
track
is your
room.
first time doing Thursday programming,
I
isn't it?
know it
It's
is.
gonna be so awesome.
We're so
Yay!
excited. So at 7 p.m. in our track room, which is Marriott A707, we are going to do a YA cosplay social hour.
Ooh.
So we are inviting people to come to the track room in their YA cosplays and just hang out, talk to other cosplayers, talk to us, show off your costumes, just talk YA things and why you love the cosplay or the book that you're cosplaying off of. And, it's a social event, but
Mhm.
I think it's going to be really, really fun.
Awesome. That
You
does
know,
sound like a lot of fun. And that's a great way to start con too. So people can
yeah.
meet each other like, "Oh, you like the same series I do," and start talking about things like that. We don't have the long lines anymore, so you can't like make friends in the lines, but you can make friends here, and that's always a great way to do that. And I'm betting you don't have to be in cosplay. To,
No, of course
no,
not. If you are just a lover of cosplay and just want to see amazing
right.
costumes, come hang out.
Come hang out.
Absolutely.
And that's a great time to get pictures when you're in a small group with that. When you just went,
Hmm.
oh my goodness, I want a picture with, I have no idea. But yeah,
Yeah.
like,
When I
yeah.
also think of some people who have these big, grandiose, amazing cosplays that they
Hmm.
do on, Friday and Saturday and Sunday that, but they might also really have a really good, Katniss Everdeen cosplay that, maybe
Ooh,
isn't as like big and grandiose that, but they want an opportunity to wear it. Well, guess what? Thursday night is your chance.
there's your chance. There you go. And it's going to be awesome because now you said it's in your track room.
Hmm.
Where's your track room, Mel?
Marriott A707.
Oh, Marriott A707.
Yep.
So, folks, that's not that hard to find. But
No.
if you're already in the Marriott, go up to 10th floor, as you already brought up Katniss Everdeen. You will notice that that looks a lot like something from the Capitol from Catching Fire.
Yeah.
And
You might
those
also
elevators.
recognize it. You might also recognize it most recently from Loki.
I was gonna say it's also
Oh,
the
yeah. Oh
TVA.
my goodness. Was that
The
not
TVA
amazing? It was awesome to see that. And I was like, oh,
every
that's
time.
oh,
Every time the
every time.
Marriott is on screen,
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
it's home.
It's
It's
home.
home. We've
John,
been in
where's
that track room for so long that the Marriott literally feels like my home away from home.
Aw.
It was weird because watching Loki, I'm like, well, if you just take the elevator, because when she was talking to, I forget which one it was. If you just take the elevator up there from Trader Vic's, you could be in the TVA in 2 seconds. I don't know why
Yeah.
you're having this conversation.
Why are you having this problem? Yeah, right. Exactly. I do want to know where they did the rooms that were the like the big hallways because I was like that because of how it's rounded and things like that. I was like that looks like the Westin or maybe the Marriott. I just kept looking at it going, I know I've been in that hallway or at least I really really think I've been in that hallway. So yeah, which is always fun. Now, how do you get to A?
So,
103.
A707.
707. I have no idea why 103 came in my head.
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry.
It's okay. But super easy. In fact, most people can figure it out really easily. So you go to the atrium level of the Marriott.
Except me. But go ahead.
Except John.
John, I promise.
No.
Everyone picture yourself on the atrium level.
I gotta
Okay.
first make it into Marriott. That's the first trick.
John,
Remember where the Marriott is
Marriott-
the middle. M
Marriott's
for
the
middle.
middle. M for
Right.
middle.
And John, this
Yes.
is the atrium level is the one that if you really want to only be in the Habitrails from the Hyatt to the Marriott to the food court at
Mhm.
Peachtree Center, that's the atrium level that you are on as you walk over the Sky Bridge to
Yeah, see, I remember how to go get
Marriott.
food. That thing I
Yeah,
remember.
so
There you
those
go.
habit trails. When you approach the habit trails in the Marriott, you can go right, you can go left, or you actually can keep going straight, which is where the blood drive used to be. If
Forward.
you keep going forward past the masses in the habit trail, are right down there on the right next to Star Wars.
Yes, you are. And you were near to puppetry. I don't know if puppetry's still going to be there.
Yeah, I'm not
that-
sure if they're in the same spot this year, but they've been across the hallway
Yes.
from us for
There-
quite a while.
There's awesome things over there. And yes, I loved the Marriott when we were there. It was awesome. It was so, so awesome.
I know
It's a
that the
great little
Marriott is
hotel.
so loud and gets so crazy, but it is just to me like the energy that I
Yes.
love about con. It
Yeah.
you can feel it. Even if you're on your floor up
Mm-hmm.
high, you can feel the energy. I love it. Marriott all the way.
And now that I remember where your room is, when you walk across, after you get through the roundabout that goes after to try to get wherever else you're going, when you go through that and then you go like you're going to young adult lit, it becomes like a whole new, very calm world.
It's
I don't.
true.
It's still all the energy of Dragon Con, but it becomes a lot. You're like, how there's too many people. Oh wait, this is a nice little oasis of
I know. It's something
calm.
about that big dome, I think, that's right there in the
Yes.
center. And
Hmm.
it echoes really well. And the elf choir comes and sings under there.
Ooh, elf
Um,
choir. Oh,
yeah,
how
have you?
cute.
Yeah, have you never seen them? They're amazing, and they
No.
love to sing there because of the echo. I know.
Director, I don't see any. I
Director
know.
struggles are real. I walk through it, so that's how I see it.
Okay, there you go. And
Um,
John, you could go because now you know
Actually,
how
I
to
actually
get
have a
there.
question that might be maybe a town hall question, or maybe you guys know. Is there a blood drive this year?
Uh,
Maybe
you
it's a town
know,
hall question.
that
I
might be a town hall question because I
That
actually
might
don't know
be.
the answer.
Well, John, if you will chat for a second, I bet I can find it on the handy dandy Dragon Con website. So
Oh,
you were going to ask Mel a question a minute ago, and I
was
didn't
I?
mean to jump in.
I sure
You said you
was.
were.
I have no idea what it was, but I was going to
Okay,
ask.
come up
I
with
know
it.
what it was.
What
I
was
know.
it, Mel?
Goody.
You wanted to know what media guests we have this year.
I did.
Oh,
In fact,
that
I'm
is
glad that you
right.
reminded me. Yes. Hey, Mel, what media guests do you have this year?
Well, I am super excited that we have media guests again this year. We've had a couple years where we haven't had anyone, but this year we have two amazing guests. We have Matt Lewis, who plays Neville Longbottom in Harry Potter, and we have Bonnie Wright, who plays Ginny Weasley. So we are super excited. Bonnie is new to Dragon Con, but Matt we've had before, and he is just amazing. And we are so looking forward to having him back and welcoming Bonnie to the Dragon Con family.
Well,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
what I liked about Neville is Matt. Had somebody who went one of the first times he came, and then they came back to the room and they were like vibrating. And I'm like, what's wrong? Did you not get to see the panel? They were like, no, he's really cute. And I was like,
He's like the definition of glow
Who
up.
was that person?
I'm
No, never
I'm
mind.
not
Don't
going to
tell me.
tell you who it was. It was somebody very, very excited.
Her
And
name
this
was
was
Lee.
years ago.
Her name
No,
was
it was
Lee.
not named Lee. No. Sorry. Nope.
Sharon is saying that there is a blood drive this year.
I know.
Not sure yet.
I'm trying to find it.
We'll
I
double
will
check.
find it.
We trust you, Sharon, but we are going to double check real quick.
We're gonna double check, and I believe you. So, yep, pay it
I hope
forward
so.
blood drive.
There is.
It is listed on here.
Oh.
It's going to be in the Hyatt on the conference room level. And Sharon, thank you very much. But if you are looking for it, go to the charity part of Dragon Con's website, www.dragoncon.org/about/charity. And
Yeah, and
it's
that's one of
on
those.
that page.
That's one of those things where. That's one of those areas that suffered a lot over the last year and a half or so
Yes.
because of
Oh,
because
yes.
people not A, being afraid to go, but B, just it's not one of those things you think about unless
Right.
you're. I mean, like for me, it was always I would always get blood at work. Well, I've been going to work, so it was
Right.
Yeah, and Dragon Con is huge for the blood supply for
And
lifestyle.
Sharon is pointing
Yes.
out that they do still need volunteers for the blood drive. So
That's
And
awesome.
also, just a reminder, because John kind of name dropped that we're much cooler than SDCC. We would just like to also say that every year our blood drive kicks SDCC's not in the really big Heine, because this is young adult lit, and I am really working at being good about the words I use.
It is the big
So-
butt. And let me tell you, young adult lit is not the same as the kids track. Just keep that in mind.
No,
Oh,
thank
yes.
you.
And
Speaking
that's
of which,
something that's important, to know. Young
'Cause,
adult
yeah.
lit, and a lot of young adult lit consumers are also people in their 20s and older.
Mhm.
Young
do
adult
you-
lit are teenagers. We're tweens
Yeah.
and teenagers through adults that like to see these stories.
now, do you have any after 10 o'clock programming?
We do.
Oh,
We normally have a couple different things. This year, we actually moved our trivia up to the slot before so that it would be available for more people.
Awesome.
So what we have that's at 10 o'clock on Fridays. We do, and it actually starts at 8:30, but it takes up 2 full panel slots. And it's the game Are You a Death Eater? So if you've ever played Mafia, it's basically a Harry Potter themed Mafia.
Gotcha.
And it is something that is so fun. And then on Sunday, obviously, we have the
Obviously.
Yule Ball.
The Yule Ball.
Yes,
And
so
the
the
Yule
Yule
Ball?
Ball is our
What's
huge
that?
party.
Right.
The,
And
the Yule Ball is our annual Harry Potter themed
There you go.
party. It's fun. We have an amazing DJ that we've had for the last couple years, DJ P, and it's just so much fun. We started at 8:30, so that those with kids, that are maybe wanting to have a little bit of a taste of some parties, get a chance to come. At 9:30, we do a big costume showcase. Kids and adults alike get to show off their costumes across the stage. And then at 10 o'clock, it becomes adults only. That is the, Dragon Con.
That's the rule.
That's the rule. Dragon Con is adults only and after dark starting at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, we send those wee ones that have decided to come on up to their rooms for some sleep. And then we stay up till 2 a.m. Because what a better
Which-
way to spend your last night of con than with us at the Yule Ball.
There you go. And just as an FYI, usually if it's not right in the room, it is very near the room that there is a place for beverages.
Yes,
So,
ours have been
just
in the
FYI.
room. Ours
Right.
have been in the room for the last couple of years. So yes, adults, if you're going to bring your kids, just be aware that yes, there is.
There you go.
The Marriott will be offering adult beverages for sale.
And Mel,
Yes.
I bet the Yule Ball would just be great for a parent to come and drop their kids off for an hour or
That
so,
sounds
right?
like a good idea.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be great?
No, no.
Oh, no?
No.
No.
Wait, why
no,
not?
no. Because
Like,
Just
she's
because that's
the
it.
director.
That's all.
Because.
Period.
There you go.
Full stop.
Because the end. No, as much as that sounds like something that somebody would enjoy, and I'm sure that any track can say the same thing. We are, we just don't have the people to be in charge of other
Right.
people's kids.
Nope.
We don't. I wish that we had the ability to do something like that, but also we just don't have the people for that.
That's exactly true.
Also,
And-
there's probably other rules and things that are,
Right. And that means, YA Lit is not the same thing as
the kids,
Kids
track.
Track.
And
Yes,
And
even at the kids track, you do
Right.
not drop off your kids.
exactly.
Oh,
No.
So we're telling
But
you
if
this.
you want to bring your kids to Dragon Con, it is a do it with your kid
Wonderful.
fun family
yeah.
event. Do it with your kid. Go see the things with your kid. Enjoy those moments together.
Yep, my
you know?
husband for years took our son and our nephew around Dragon Con, and they loved it from early on. So yeah, it's always fun with kids. But again, after 10 o'clock, you don't know what you're gonna see. And I'll be
No.
very honest, on Saturday night and on Sunday night after
will
about
see a lot.
8:30, you're gonna see it some too probably.
You probably, if
We
you
have
are
some-
worried about
yeah.
what your kids may or may not see, you should probably leave before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
'Cause at 10 o'clock, it's
Yeah.
it's adult.
10 o'clock especially, but yes, so just bringing that up. But yes, the Yule Ball is always great. I love seeing all the costumes. I love seeing the McGonagalls and the Dumbledores and everything else, and it's just so cool.
There's
when
something
that
really
kind of stuff's
fun.
going on.
There's something really fun about seeing Snape and McGonagall and Dumbledore
Yes,
jamming out to 90s pop music.
there is something very, very cool about that because it's like one of
that
those things you're
reminds
like, oh,
me. Because I know
Oh?
this question always
Oh?
comes up, and so I just want to make it very clear. We are doing a Harry Potter themed party. We decorate, as much as we can decorate the Marriott Imperial Ballroom because it is a huge space.
very, very big.
We make it Harry Potter themed, but it is in fact a dance party. It is not a ball. You don't have to come in a fancy dress. We will not be playing, ballroom music. It is a party. It's, I would say, 80s, 90s, and 2000s and up. 80s being the oldest, probably. It is a high energy pop party.
I'm sorry, you just said 80 music was old, and that's
No. I'm not saying
I need
80s
a minute.
music is old. Hey, remember, Lee, I look and think than you think.
That's very true. She only
80s
looks
music. I'm
young
saying
and it.
80s music is probably the oldest music we will
Oh,
play.
okay. All right. Thank you. I just
But
let's-
do remember that the 80s was 40 years ago. So
yeah, I know. Well,
Gosh,
that
John,
was
why you gotta be so mean about that?
thanks. I
That was
know.
rude.
I know. When somebody put on Facebook that the guy who played the heartthrob in 16 Candles was 60, I'm like, that you bite your big fat lion tongue. That is not. Oh, that might be.
My favorite thing that I've heard about 2021 is that
Mm.
now when you show your ID for drinks, that all they have to do is look at the first number.
Oh,
because, because people that were born in 2000 now,
yeah.
people that were born in 2000 can drink now. So any of us
My-
born before the year 2000, we don't even have to really show them again.
My daughter
Oh.
my daughter just turned 21. We went up there last weekend for her 21st birthday. So yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Okay. And we also know there are lots of people who their children have grown up at Dragon Con. And I'm sure, I mean, we went to a lot of YA lit stuff. My son read, he played Harry Potter in the parade a couple of years. It was, so yeah, young adult, we're all growing up. And it's so awesome because this is Dragon Con's 35th year. It's always
I
fun.
know. It's so
No,
amazing.
I know.
Well, the
And
thing
how
that,
Yeah.
oh, no, go ahead.
No.
I was saying the thing that's I love about the young adult lit track in general, when
Mhm.
I was a, fan before I became a volunteer and then a volunteer before a second, and now I'm the director. What I love is that we offer such a variety of topics because that's the thing, right? Young adult lit, these are, if you think about the characters, right? Teenagers going through those teenage years and into college, those are years of turmoil. They are not always sweet and happy and tidy with a bow, which is why I think it's important that a lot of YA discusses topics that are, sometimes hard and difficult to deal with, that we're talking about, one of the things that we're talking about is love, right? We have a panel
Right.
that's called Young Love Writing Romance in YA. What is that line? What is, where does it stop for young adult lit versus new adult and or adult books? Like, how far can you push that line? And so we're going to be talking about that, which is great. Probably our biggest panel that like closes the room out every single year is our LGBTQIA plus
Oh, yes.
NYA
I was
panel.
actually wanting to bring that one up because I know that's just always well attended.
Yes. So that panel, we actually moved up earlier in the day a couple years ago because we got feedback that people that were there earlier wanted to be able to go to this panel, because it was like a 7:00 at night panel. So it'll be Saturday at 1 p.m. in our track room. And we've got some great panelists for this, one this year. And we're just really excited. It's called Queering Your Shelf. And so if that is something that interests you, please come to that panel and come early because
And
there's always a
that's-
line.
There is always a line. And that's actually one of those places where people will come and be like, oh, I made a list of 20 books. You see them back on dragoncon.org or other places after con, and they're like, I've got 20 LGBTQIA plus, I've got 20 new fantasies, and sometimes it's older stuff or even old stuff and they just haven't heard about it. So it's always great. And that's great because you guys give out amazing recs too. And I've got many a
we
rec from
love book recommendations. Aside from the fact that we sort of discuss book recommendations pretty much on every single panel.
Yeah, of course.
Monday at 11:30, we actually have a panel called What We're Reading, and it is a whole hour filled of young adult book recs.
That is great. And you also have author talks as well, don't you?
We do. I mean, we have, we are actually, I'm very sad to say that one of our favorite YA authors that is a big staple at DragonCon had to cancel for this year. And we hate it. She hates it. But we are still going to have as our book club book this year, In the Hall with a Knife by Diana Peter Freund, who normally would be there to answer your questions. But, we can, in her absence, talk about how much we love that book. And speaking of that book, in the Hall with the Knife, if it sounds like, oh, why does that make me think of Clue? That's because it's written in the Clue universe.
Ooh.
Something that we are talking about this year, we're actually having a panel on it Friday at 2:30, is about tie-in novels. There's quite a few young adult authors that write tie-in novels in various different properties. And so we are going to talk to those authors about what it's like to be paid to write in somebody else's world and contributing to the canon of these worlds.
And that just sounds like sometimes the coolest job, honestly.
I know, right?
Because there are so many properties people love and we grew up on, and we got it maybe into fandom because of, I didn't really know what fandom was until X-Files, and even then, and that was 96, and even then it was changing. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of amazing to see that. And so yes, so you're going to have authors there. And then you also don't you do something about how to get published in YA, or is that
So
last
we
prior
have talked
year?
about publishing before.
Mhm.
We generally do a couple panels on writing in YA, specifically writing in YA. We do have the writers track. So for those who are, wanting to be
Mhm.
authors, I highly recommend you go check out the writers track and see what their stuff is too. But we specifically just talk about writing YA because it's niche, and I say niche, it's not. It's really not. It's huge, but it is a separate category that the writers track cannot. They always have some, but they cannot solely focus on that because they've got so many things to cover. So we are
Mhm.
covering, like I said earlier, writing romance in
Mhm.
YA. And we're also doing a panel called Writing and Rewriting. So, how to revise, right? Sort of like revising your YA.
Hmm.
And then
Very
we also have
interesting.
a panel that's it's kind of a writing panel as well, but it's called Favorite YA Tropes and How to Use Them.
Mhm. And if you
Rob,
remember,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say also about the publishing, and yes, that's in prior years. Sorry, folks, the brain done. Yeah. Yesterday we talked with Seska from Fantasy, and they are doing a how to get published. So panel with authors and publishers and agents. So go and see
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Fantasy
Right.
Lit has an amazing schedule too. So if you aren't with us, I highly recommend you go check them out because they are amazing.
And we got the trifecta over the last 3 days. We did sci-fi lit, fantasy lit, and YA lit. Yay!
Love
Trifecta.
it.
Hat
Love
trick.
it. Love it.
We're
Throw your hat
totally
in,
lit.
John.
Oh my God, John.
Rob had a question in the chat there, which was, how do you convince adults to explore young adult lit that they dismiss as kids books?
Oh man, that is a really good question because, he brings up a good point. There are people that automatically assume that young adult books are going to be like written for kids. Okay. My biggest suggestion, honestly, is just to give them a book and not necessarily tell them it's YA. I mean, granted, they'll probably figure it out based on the age of the protagonist, but,
Right.
Not everything sort of screams YA either,
No.
right? So look at Scythe by Neil Shusterman. So good, and I think plenty of adults. In fact, a coworker of mine just read that book because her son read it and told her that it was amazing. And so she's like, well, I guess I'll read this book. I think the best way that we can get these books in the hands of other people is by, giving it to them. But also, if you have read it, telling them why it's good. Unfortunately, there's always going to be people that are just going to be like, oh, that's kid stuff. And, it's their loss, in my opinion. I think there's so much to gain and to enjoy in all
Everything,
types of literature. My kids are 9 and 7, so I get a lot of
9 and
kids.
7 now?
I know, aren't they so old? I can't deal with it. But so my son is actually reading. He's 9. He's reading, and he's a little bit ahead, so he's reading like middle grade type stuff, chapter books, like
Right.
higher level chapter books, and there's just so much fun to hear. He loves to read out loud. That's something he loves to do in school
Oh,
too.
very
So,
cool.
so he'll read these books to me, and I mean, they're just so fun. Honestly, just so much fun. And my daughter is 7, so she's reading a little bit lower
Oh.
than him, but also great stories. And yes, YA lit is my focus, but I also love adult books too.
Yeah.
There's something to gain in everything, and you just have to go into it with an open mind.
And there are authors that write across everything.
Yes,
they don't.
absolutely.
They yeah.
Look at fan favorite Jonathan Mayberry.
Whoa.
Right?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
that's why we do
Huge,
love
huge,
Jonathan.
huge adult author who also wrote an amazing young adult
Oh.
series called Rotten Ruin.
I actually have read that, and it is awesome. I've only read the first two, but
Okay, we'll read the rest of
it-
them because they're
I'm
amazing.
going to read all the rest of them. But it was a great zombie fic. It's
Yes.
up there with some of the really. Honestly, I thought there were parts of it as good as World War Z, the book, not the movie.
Right,
the book.
right, of course, the
So
book.
these
No.
are also the people that will also often say to you, the book was better.
Yes.
The book was better. Try the book. Now, Mel, I'm going to ask you for a recommendation just off the fly.
Sure.
Maybe someone who's older and doesn't read often, and needs books that he can read, small bits at a time. They could read at small bits at a time.
We are not doing a panel on it this year, but we have in the past done a panel on reluctant readers. And what we have found is the hugest thing for that population tends to be graphic novels, which are just as amazing and valid a type of literature.
Yes. Yes.
Graphic novels are amazing. My son loves them. For as much as he loves chapter books, he loves graphic novels. I grew up on graphic novels and comics. The stories that you can get through there and the, extra, sort of excitement you get from seeing the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I would highly recommend a graphic novel.
That's a very good idea. Wow.
I'll forward that on to somebody, Lee.
You do that. You do that. I would say start with saga, whatever you want to call it. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm through the sixth volume of that.
Very
Sixth volume.
good
Yeah, it's
job.
really good. Yeah.
So see you.
I wanna say
That's
six.
awesome.
I actually use Hoopla, which is if a lot of libraries have a digital component. Your public libraries have a digital component, and mine happens to use Hoopla to allow you to check out books. In my case,
I have to admit something.
Yeah.
As I am a huge proponent of saving the environment, but I have to tell you, I personally struggle so much with reading books digitally. I cannot
tough.
do it.
Yeah,
I
it
wonder,
depends on what
I
it
do
is,
think
yeah.
I do think that part of it is a bit of my ADHD, that for me the tactileness of having a book in my hand is a thing. I struggle so much with reading digitally. I do not know how people read on Kindles and can just read and read and read and read. I have to have
My
that book
husband
in
does
my
it.
hand. I have to be able to smell it,
Yeah.
smell the pages. Oh, I love it.
And I agree with the tactile, and I think there's also the sound,
Yeah.
holding a book, or when you get
Flipping
it
the page.
pages, all of that. And
I'm
I also
basically
like
Hermione Granger.
yes, perfect, the best character in that whole series. But I digress. But the other thing is, with my own copies of books, I can take notes.
Yeah.
I can
or
put little
highlight.
stick.
Oh, there are some people who would
oh,
die if they saw some of my books.
I-
There's so
The
many book.
Alchemist.
There's
Oh.
book people that think that tabbing folding pages and putting any notes or anything in your book is sacrilege. But that is who I am. I am
My book.
I am the page, the corners folded.
Yep.
Chaos. I am chaotic. Chaotic.
This is why
good.
this is why we've always gotten along. The other thing I want to say is, for when you go to a panel, as we said, you're going to have, you're not just going to drop your kids off. You're going to be there with them, or an adult is. And if you have questions about, is this book appropriate for X, Y, or Z, there are parents and there are kids, I don't like to call them kids, tweens, younger adults, who will say to you, oh, I read it when I was this, but it bothered me. I actually, when Mockingjay came out, I actually talked to Bev, the prior director, and I said, my kid's this old, can he read it yet? And she said, wait 1 more year.
Yeah, we get asked those questions
Right.
very frequently in panels, and we are more than happy, both us as the director of the volunteers, and all of our panelists are always so
Always.
happy to give book recommendations for any age because there are a lot of people who come in that say my kid just loves to read and my kid's ahead and my kid wants to read this. Can my kid read this?
Mhm.
And like I said, right, young adult lit is not the same as kids literature.
Right.
There are a lot of adult themes, whether it be dark themes such as like suicide or, there's talk about sex and even some level of that. I mean, young adult lit really does span a wide range when you think that it starts with, sort of tweens,
Mhm.
but, and the biggest thing is just like learning about the book and asking, right? Just
Mhm.
ask us. We're here to help you. Ask us on our Facebook page. I mean, we are
Yeah.
always happy to talk books with anyone that wants to talk young adult lit. Facebook is probably where we are most active year round. And then, our Instagram and stuff gets popping when it's con time. But most of the time we're on Facebook. Send us a message, DragonCon Young Adult Literature Track. There's our
John
page.
Brought up his the Facebook page.
Yeah, so send us a message. We are fairly quick, I think, to respond. Either I will or one of my volunteers will, and yeah, we're there. Oh, look at that, John! That is perfect. The perfect picture to stop on because
Oh, okay.
Lee, you were
Yes.
talking about charity. And
Yep.
we feel super, super strong about supporting charities in young adult lit, and especially the Big Brothers Big Sisters this year. Like that is so up our alley.
Mhm.
So what we do every year to raise money for charity is we have a house cup competition. Any Harry Potter fans will know that throughout the book, throughout the the years, they will go ahead and put each house will earn points, right? And at the end of the year, they say who wins the house cup. Well, that's what we do, except for we collect your money, and your money is your vote. Your money is your point for your house. You vote for your house. And at the end of the costume parade at Yule Ball, so right before 10 o'clock when we send everyone, when we send the kids off to bed, we announce who the winner is. So, if you really, really, really feel strongly that Hufflepuff deserves to win this year, then donate to Hufflepuff. All the money that we raise in the track room goes to, our charity and DragonCon. Lee, do you know how much is it that they will match to?
Up to $100,000.
Up to $100,000. Wouldn't that be amazing?
So
if we
your
could get that
dollar
much?
makes $2.
Your dollar makes $2. Yeah.
There
And
you
so
go.
that goes throughout the entire starting Thursday night until the Yule Ball. We collect that money. We have boxes in the back of our track room. We will tell you more about it. But basically, at every panel that you see us at, we will be there, hoping that you will be able to share just a little bit with, Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
And as an FYI, Gryffindor does not win every year.
They do not.
They do
They
not.
do not. They do not.
Well, and now see, Hufflepuff is back to being kind of cool now because of Newt in the Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
I'm ready for somebody who's Ravenclaw to be like, woo, awesome.
Yeah.
I want a series with that now. You got Gryffindor, you got Slytherin, now Hufflepuff. I need a Ravenclaw.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
You're going to have to do it, Lee. It's going to have to be you.
Yeah, no. Or maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Yes, John.
I didn't have it. I did want to say. I did want to
Yes.
mention this. So I know I give. I got to keep this persona going of me not being a reader, but I wanted to go look this up because I actually have read a couple of books over this quarantine period. I did, and none of them are really related here, but because it just reminded me. I did read News of the World and The Queen's Gambit before I watched the series because I wanted to read it before I watched the series, and The Dig as well before watching the movie.
Oh.
So,
wow.
yeah. So,
quarantine has been a way for a lot of people, I think, to catch up on some books that they haven't. Working in healthcare myself, I actually have had less time to read, which is sad. But
Yes, but you are also doing great work. And
thanks, Lee.
yes,
for
thank
doing
you.
your stuff.
I also did and to your point of the graphic novels, like I said, I was doing Saga, and also I did reread Watchmen. This time, actually reading all of the what do you call it? The not Black Pearl. What the hell is it? Is it Black Pearl? The pirate story that's in the middle of the.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, Watchmen. And the thing I always hear from parents is like, I don't want my kids reading comic books and da-da. I'm like, if they're reading, I don't care what they're reading.
And why? Why?
Captain
Why?
Under-
I've never
if you-
understood that, and I
All
wish
right.
that somebody could explain that to me because I've never understood this idea that comic books are any less than,
No, right,
than
exactly.
formal
And
literature, quote unquote.
go for it. And
Read,
that's the
read what
thing.
makes you happy. Read the
Exactly.
stories that make you happy.
People will say, "Oh, I don't want to buy him Captain Underpants." I'm like, buy him Captain Underpants. If they
I'd
read
rather
it,
him read
they're-
Captain Underpants than
Then-
not read at all.
right. And there are some books,
Also, they're good
that-
stories.
and they're fun stories for kids. They relate to fun stories. That's why Diary of a Wimpy Kid and many, many others. So wherever they start, if they love reading, they keep going. So,
Absolutely.
awesome. All right. So
So-
John has something. Sorry, John.
Yeah, so Mel, as you know, we usually play a game with our guests at the end of our episodes, and
Yes,
this
I
year we've been
remember.
doing a Jackbox. So we also encourage. We'll get a couple of people, hopefully from our audience. We already got a couple that are joining to play with us tonight. We're going to play Quiplash. It is a custom
Oh,
game,
another time.
YA themed.
Here we go. Oh no.
So I will admit, since
I
I
get
wrote.
so anxious about these things. I will
Since-
know the answer and then I'll be like,
Well,
oh,
it's
no.
not. Well, it's not an answer. These in this case, you're just going to make up an answer to it. So,
Oh,
and
I love
because I
it.
wrote most of the questions, I will tell you that most of them are Harry Potter themed because those were the easiest ones to kind of most accessible.
So instead of calling this like YA themed, you're calling it Harry Potter themed.
Well, it's got a couple of other Dragon Con
No, I
and
know.
or
I'm just kidding.
yeah. But yes, you're right. It's mostly Harry Potter. I will not be playing because I got to read at the same time, and I just find it too confusing.
It's very
to do.
difficult.
Yes.
Yes. It's very difficult.
All right, I'm ready. Got it
Okay,
up.
we'll give our audience a few more minutes to join. In fact, let me go ahead and
Okay.
Read the
So
room code
Mel,
out.
as we're doing this,
Room code? You got it. YWEX.
so there's a room code for Jackbox.tv. But Mel, also, so you are in the Marriott and room.
A707. That's the atrium level, room 707.
Right. And also, where can people find you on Facebook?
So on Facebook, they can find us if they search for DragonCon Young Adult Literature Track.
There you go.
I know it's a
Very
bit
good.
wordy, but that's who we are.
But, well, it's about books. Of course, it's wordy. Well,
Yeah,
it's
you know.
perfectly fine. So that is very, very good. And I don't know if you do Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. But as you said, you do.
Like I said, we mostly are active on Facebook. We do
Right.
have an Instagram that we really usually only stay on during the con. And I'm
Ah.
pretty sure that is at DCYA Lit. And I will tell you, come con time, both on our Facebook and in our track room, we have a whole list of all of our social media channels. So you
Very
can
cool. There you go.
add us then.
See? Woohoo! You can add them then. That'll be great. So awesome. That is very, very good. And again, the atrium level from the Hyatt to the Marriott, as soon as you go down the little habit trail and then start walking down that hallway, take
Go
a
towards
hard
the big.
right.
Yep. Go
Take a
toward the
hard right.
very big dome.
And
Just
the
keep
dome
going.
is it's a dome, but it's a glass dome, and there's like sun. You can
Yeah.
actually see sun without being actually under the day ball.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's
For those
nice.
of us who are pale and the day moon burns us.
Yes, there you go.
All right. I think
All
I've
right.
given everyone enough time. I'm going to go ahead and start.
Whee!
Oh, here we go.
This is Quiplash 3. Quips on Parade. I'm Schmitty, but my friends call me, and then hang up. It's very annoying. And if you're not in the game, the next best thing is the audience. Enter the room code to get in there and vote. Time for round one. I'm going to flash 2 prompts on your device. Type something ingenious that will stand up against another player's response. Then everyone will vote for their fave, and one of you will get an ego boost. Oh yes, points. You score points based on the percentage of voters who like your answers. Clear enough? Sure hope so. Let's go.
Woohoo!
Okay, so those that are playing, you should see something either on one of your tabs or what do you call it? Or your phone or wherever you happen to be playing at, and this will come up there. And this is the part where I say,
Where do you say what?
where I'll say, for those of you listening to the podcast, I'll cut the 90 seconds of waiting around out of this. So you never actually hear this part, but I always say it anyway.
Yay! That's very nice of you to do for the podcast, John. That is very nice. This takes forever. Is it always 90 seconds?
Well, everyone's got time, has got to,
I just realized there was a second question. I don't know why I said that.
You're almost out of time. Don't forget your safety quip.
I am very, very sorry. I did not realize that. Uh-oh.
uh-oh, uh-oh. Mel.
Mel? Oh, no.
Ah! I was typing so fast. Did it work?
Moderation needs just a bit more
Oh,
time,
boy.
and then it's on to hilarity.
That second one, I don't know why it threw me for such a loop.
Well, yeah. The second
Okay,
one, I
here's
just
where
kind
the
of like...
fun starts.
That's because I was trying to think of something that would really mash well together.
Ah.
Leading off,
Okay, least wanted Harry Potter cosplay crossover. Gillyweed or Ron and Carrot Top.
Yeah.
I didn't think about separating those.
Oh,
Sorry
and
about
Mel, if you don't know, you're supposed to, if it wasn't your thing, you're supposed to vote on the other.
Oh, I did. I voted.
Okay. Ron and Carrot Top won.
that. And that was much better than my answer,
And now-
saying. Yeah.
Let's see. Blank is my Patronus. A sloth or trash panda.
Sorry. That's rather funny.
Blank is my Patronus. A sloth? A sloth is my Patronus. Or trash panda is my Patronus.
Yeah.
Trash panda won.
Trash Panda,
And
way to
got all
go,
the audience.
Mel. Woo!
Don't you love it?
Super Quiplash.
Aw.
Sorry, Red
and
Nerd.
next,
A rejected Hogsmeade shop name. Moose.
all right, people, it's voting time.
Or books that bite you. Rejected Hogsmeade shop name. Hogsmeade shop name. Moose or books that bite you. I think that might be.
I'm really terrified of what would be in a moose shop. Yay! Woo! Yay!
Oh, Lee got the super quick flash with books that bite you.
I bet there are a
Without
lot.
further ado,
Rejected. Rejected the Hunger Games book
here's the
title.
fun part. Pick your favorite quip.
Underage kids get away with murder.
All right, check this out.
Weird Al's The Hunger Games themed parody
Now it
title.
gets real. Pick your favorite.
Hunger Games themed parody is titled blank and sung to the tune of blank. Highway to the Capitol, sung to the tune of Highway to the Danger Zone. Or Too Much Hair Gel. Oh, it was a safety quip, which doesn't work on a two-parter.
Aw.
Unfortunately,
Sorry,
Raina.
Raina.
I'm sorry, Raina.
Sad face.
That was round 1. Reminder that those all go on your permanent record. Let's see the scores.
All right, let's see who's winning.
Holla.
And Mel is winning.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Mel
buddy.
is kicking tushy.
Round 2 has arrived. The points are doubled, but so are the expectations.
Uh-oh.
Okay, going back over to my moderator section. That's the other reason why I also don't play, because I gotta moderate the answers in the event. Although most of our guests here have been here before. Just need to make sure that we don't get anything too inappropriate. I also get to read the answers in advance. Sorry.
Time's
That
running
really is
out.
a lot
Safety
more
equipment
time
if
than you
have to.
realize.
It is, especially when I realized there was a second question before I went, oops, and had to throw something in there.
Okay, let's see them. And the first prompt is
Worst job in the Harry Potter universe: care of magical beast custodian or house elf bathroom attendant? Worst job in the Harry Potter universe: the care of magical beast custodian or house elf's bathroom attendant.
Listen, here I am thinking, I would think that being the magical beast, like caretaker, would be
No,
amazing.
no. That doesn't say caretaker, it says custodian.
Custodian.
Oh.
Cleaning them up.
Gotcha.
House elf attendant is the winner there.
let's see. how
Way to
they
go,
handle.
Red.
Most wanted Harry Potter cosplay crossover:
All right,
Dumbledore
choose your
back from the
favorite.
dead or Variant Harry.
Those are both really good. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I actually think both of them would be amazing. It was a
I
hard
really
pick.
would. Dumbledore back from the dead. You did it as a vampire or a zombie. would be-
Zombie, obviously. It has to be a zombie. But variant Harry.
Yeah.
Can we get the alligator variant?
Oh.
And
Raina
here
won
we
that with
have-
Variant Harry. My blank brings all the cosplayers to the yard. My lightsaber brings all the cosplayers to the yard, or my Fitnik in the net outfit brings all the. I'm gonna go. I got mine. Or my Fitnik in the net outfit brings all the cosplayers to the yard. My lightsaber brings all the cosplayers to the yard. My Fitnik in the net.
Lee, I have to say that is really good. And if I had not been playing against you, I probably would have voted for you.
There you go. Thank you. I like
we have-
lightsaber too, though. I thought that one was pretty good.
I think I don't remember which one won that last one. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Okay, choose your
Uh,
favorite.
Least
Nailed it.
threatening dragon breed: the dragon from Mulan or the sleeping spiky green. Least threatening dragon breed: the dragon from Mulan or the Sleeping Spiky Green.
I have to give it to Zan on that one too.
That's pretty good. And the sleeping spiky green, is that the one they pull out of the bag, right?
Oh no, I just totally made that up.
Oh, okay.
Worst Patronus to have:
Decisions.
armpit
Oh
stubble
my God.
or cockroach.
But is cockroach the worst or the best? Because don't they survive the apocalypse?
They survive anything.
I didn't get to vote. Shoot. Armpit
Raina.
stubble won.
Armpit stubble was
No more
hysterical,
round 2 for
actually.
you. It's scoreboard time.
That was
All right, let's see
hysterical.
who's winning here. And Mel is still winning, although Eternal Zan is catching up.
Oof.
Step right up to Riplash. And behold, a final round to end all rounds. You'll each get a prompt that needs 3 separate responses. Remember, big points mean big pressure. I see we have an odd number, so you'll be quipping against me, Schmitty, your host.
Okay, so this time you need to answer 3 separate things. Oh yeah, I think somebody mentioned that my sound had gone, and it was back. I don't know what happened. Suddenly, my computer decided not to hear things. Now, see, this would be the time where I should have remembered to do the backup recording, so that
No.
the things I was saying were going to be there, but now they're not.
Well,
It only affected me, so.
Time's running out.
I finally got them. I done it.
Oops, I gotta moderate. I gotta moderate.
Okay, just a few more seconds for moderation, and it is back to business. Well, might as well get this over with.
Three rejected alternate names for the Yule Ball: the non-denominational ball, Nothing Bad Ever Happens ball, You'll Have a Ball, or Detroit dog shampoo going back in time and getting eaten by a dinosaur. I'm gonna imagine that is the
That's Schmitty.
automated answers.
That's got to be Schmitty.
Non-denominational ball, Nothing Bad Ever Happens ball, or You'll Have a Ball. Those are the 3 rejected alternate names for the Yule Ball.
Woohoo!
And Red
Super
Nerd gets the Super
Quiplash.
Quiplash. Ooh,
Nom, nom,
that's a
nom.
lot of points.
Hey, game
That
respects
is a
game.
lot of
You know what I'm
points.
talking
Wow.
about.
That's a lot of points. 3 previous jobs found on a Dementor's resume: meter maid, DMV, and
Now
postman,
it's time to vote for your
or
favorite.
fired squib jail guard, or cashier at Wesley's wizard shop.
Weasley's.
Weasley, excuse me. What did I say? Wesley?
Weasley's, yeah.
Yes, Weasley's wizard shop, or Walmart greeter. Fired squib. Okay. The Weasleys won. 3 rejected Harry Potter book titles: Harry Potter and the Series That Won't End, Royal Family,
All right, vote for
or
the one you
An
like
American
best.
Invader, or Harry Potter and the Fault in Our Scars. Time I got my arm deboned. I the hell sure they was trying to say. And Harry Potter and the
Mel.
Time
I'm
I got my
sorry.
arm deboned playing Quidditch.
Oh, playing Quidditch.
Fault
Okay, got cut
in
off.
our scars.
Fault in our
I wish that I
scars
could
was
say I made
genius.
that up. I've actually heard that before.
Red Nerd pulls it out at the second. Red
Wow,
Nerd
Red
wins.
Nerd, great job. You just stole that from me right at the end. Good
Oh
job.
man, that going against
Oh.
that Schmitty is always important.
Zan meant to spell American Invaders is what she meant to say. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, Mel, again, thank you for joining us. Let everyone know one more time where they can find you and on the internets and in the actual physical location.
Yeah.
That is DragonCon.
Thank you so much for having me. Again, I'm Mel, and I am the track director for Young Adult Literature. You can find us on Facebook at DragonCon Young Adult Literature Track, or you can find us in person at the con, Marriott A707. That's the atrium level, room 707. Thank you so much for having me, Lee, John. You guys are amazing. I
thank
enjoy this
you.
so much every year.
It's so much fun. So yeah, way to come back from behind, Red Nerd. It is
Really
always
great,
so much
Red
fun,
Nerd.
and I actually wrote some of the books down that you said. So woohoo!
I
Yeah,
do need to
I-
show Red. I need to show Red Nerd something because they did on their profile pic.
Yes, and I wish that you could
Aw.
see my apparently my camera's broken, so I'm sorry that I was unable
I don't think
to
we
do
said
that.
Yeah,
No, my
I-
camera's like
oops.
broken, and I literally found out right before this, so that is sad. But
Well-
what you can't see on my phone, John, is that my pop socket has
Oh.
the Rebel Alliance
There you go.
symbol
There you
and
go.
a rainbow going underneath it.
Yeah, both
Very cool.
both Red Nerd and I have a R2
Ah,
phone case. Okay. So yes, those places. That's where you can find Mel. So until next time, for Mel, Lee, and our friends over on the stream that played our games with us today. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
swish and flick and bye.
This was a production of The Unique Geek. Call our comment line at 8133210TUG. That's 81332108884. Email us at thegeeks@theuniquegeek.com or 50days@theuniquegeek.com. Follow The Unique Geek on Facebook and Twitter. This podcast is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike license.
Post-credit stance-off.
Whoop whoop.
And I'm sorry, I like the swish and flick and bye. And
That was
John
kinda
went
perfect.
Right, that was perfect, John. Yay, John.
I am awesome.
Yeah.
Ending bar.